Back again!
Hey! It's 2016. Or maybe it's 2018. Who knows?
Maybe Boris Johnson could be, president of the world by now.
Could be. He really is.
Not going to be. Not going to be. Right, next one. Sagres Bohemia.
Ooh, arriba!
I don't think it's from Mexico.
Isn't it?
No. I don't know where it is.
Bohemia? Well, that's sort of Czechoslovakia way, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's Portuguese.
Ah.
Portuguese.
Don't really know any Portuguese.
It's won a few medals, apparently. Let's go and find it in the bookie. I've never had good Portuguese beer. I've had
Racist.
Yeah, I know. I've had the Bock, the thingy Bock. Something.
I don't think I've even had a Portuguese beer. So.
But I went to Portugal a while ago. And it was slim pickings. I can tell you.
Slim pickings.
I had the Super Bock. Is the other?
Wasn't he in Stanley Kubrick film? Right in there. Atom Bomb.
Probably, yeah. Right, Sagres Bohemia from Portugal, first brewed in 2005, 6.2%.
You're really loading up the heavy beers tonight in 2018.
Yes, it's worth less after Brexit. It's now only 5.2%.
Well, you can tell. Yeah, exactly. It's everything's gone to pot, but it was probably cheaper to buy.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. It says, given that Portugal is better known for wine and port, the really surprising thing about Sagres Bohemia is it's good or better than many of the amber beers from Bavaria and Austria.
I thought it was only known for whinging dirty footballers. Apparently it's famous for
Topical. Taste of moths. Very topical.
You're going to have to post this review first, aren't you? Otherwise it's going to mean nothing in 10 years' time.
It pours, the tasting notes, pours dark, reddish amber into the glass beneath an off-white cap. Nose is caramel sweet and bready. On the palate, it is not as sweet as feared. Instead, there's a mild grassy bitterness. Tinges of alcohol do not interfere. Odd comment. Refreshing despite its strength.
Well, I can understand. No, that's a sensible comment, because it's a bit like when you have a high ABV cask beer. And quite often they're just a horrible sort of sugary alcoholic mess. But occasionally a very good brewer will be able to actually pack in a lot of flavour without the alcohol hit. So no, I can see that. Let's give it a go.
I actually quite like the design. I like it. It looks
quite classical, doesn't it?
It looks like a kind of it looks like the sort of thing that you might have in a library with many leather-bound books.
James is daydreaming about his retirement, I can tell. He's not going to have books, he's just going to have bottles and bottles of beer.
Okay, so it smells of nothing from the bottle, so let's pour it out instead.
That really doesn't smell of much at all.
No.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, I'm almost certain that a beer from Portugal is not going to be bottle conditioned, but I will take the second. Here.
After what happened with the Otley. Oh, there we go. Clear as day.
Clear as a whistle. Right, that's what I smell.
Well, you've got
I've got more head because it's the last.
Still doesn't smell of a huge amount, does it?
No.
There's a very, very faint smell of beer, but
let's have a taste.
It is faint. How many? What's you got a bigger head on yours than mine? Mine's cleared very quick. There's a little bit around the outside, but it's.
It's a bit like a sweet bitter. This reminds me of.
Oh God! It tastes like It tastes a bit like. It tastes like a fizzy mild. It tastes like some kind of, I don't know, Whitbread keg mild or something that I can imagine the old boys would have had back in the day.
I was thinking it's more like
it's not unpleasant.
It's like a thin ESB. It's like a thin Fuller's ESB.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, it has got it. Now, when we say sweet. It's
not ultra sweet.
There's definitely fruits in it. If you want to go Jilly Gordon, there's definitely sort of figs,
prunes and figs. Yeah,
it's that kind of thing. It's almost a bit Christmassy, I think, in its taste. I could quite happily imagine myself sat there drinking this with Brenda doing the speech and stuffed with Christmas dinner and eyeing up the chocolates.
You wouldn't have thought it was 6.2%, would you?
No. When I said it tasted a bit like a fizzy keg mild, immediately when it went in, so the comment in the book is quite true. Fair play to Is it Mr. Tierney Jones?
Adrian Tierney Jones.
See, no, he knows his biscuits. He was quite right. Yeah, you wouldn't think for a moment that it's packing that amount of punch.
No. It's not unpleasant. Not really the style of beer that I would go for personally. There's almost no hops at all in it.
No.
It's a little bit kind of malty, but not really that much.
It's something that obviously I don't know anything about Portuguese beer, but it's Iberia. You couldn't entirely imagine Iberians drinking this kind of beer.
It's an amber stroke red ale, really, isn't it?
It's not something you'd associate with that region.
You wouldn't have thought they would drink their amber beers, but
no, but
clearly they do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've only ever been to Portugal once, to the coastal regions, and I never saw this. I only ever saw Superbock. I might have seen the Sagres, the lager version they do, but no, I never saw this. It says it's won awards, and I can understand that.
It's this awards in Portugal where it's only got about 3 other beers it's competing against.
It won one in Brussels.
Just a round robin. Oh, that's the EU for you, isn't it? So probably won it on the rotating presidency. Topical.
It doesn't say when, though.
Have you also noticed that the aftertaste basically doesn't exist?
No, it has got no aftertaste at all.
It just goes down and you're literally ready for the next sip because there really is nothing left apart from a slight thin kind of film in your mouth. That's it, really. I think it's decent. I'll quite happily, if I was around a mate's house and they had a couple of these, I'll drink them without any complaint.
Actually, and thinking about Portugal as a place that does a lot of wine and port, you can see how somebody who may be a port drinker may drink this.
That's a good.
Because port is actually quite, as a fortified wine, it's quite sweet. This is of a similar ilk.
So when we were saying about you wouldn't necessarily associate it with Iberia, actually, if you turn it on its head and think of wine, you got
to think of it not as the lager. You got to think of it as another type of drink, really. I mean, obviously it's a beer, but it's a very nice amber. In terms of an amber beer, which is not really the style I like, but it is pretty decent.
Yeah, it does. It does the job.
I reckon this would actually be, if they made a cask version of this, it'd be quite good.
I think with the cask version, because it would lose some of the carbonation, I think it would bring out a lot more of the underlying fruit sort of mellowness in the flavour. I think that would actually, it is going to be one of those that would, it would translate quite well. So there we go.
Slightly lower alcohol in cask, that would be great.
Well, I think
that's my review of that.
I think not too bad at all.
Okay.
If I found it down the middle for a couple of quid, go on.
Bye.